time to test out the echo.
Good morning from the next stop in our Middle Eastern Blitz, Jordan. It's a beautiful day. We're in this cute little apartment and it has three of probably the most beautiful things that you could ever possibly see as a backpacker. First off, we have a washing machine. This has been a lifesaver because we were just in Egypt for the last 10 days and our clothes were filthy. I think we can just say filthy. Number two on this amazing list is a water cooler. So if you watched any of our previous videos, you already know that we don't like buying plastic water bottles. So this allows us to be able to skip that whole process because we have water here. And not only that, but it comes out cold. And I can't tell you how much I'm tired of drinking lukewarm water. I think Bree's more of a fan of it than I am. It's just not my thing. I like my ice cold water, part of my American traits. Last but not least, we have the coolest thing for me personally is when we do laundry, we have to dry it because outside of the States, basically you don't get dryers anywhere. I mean, Japan kind of has them, but they're like 2-in-1. They don't dry very well. But there are these curtain rod holders right here, and they are perfectly spaced to fit the Sea to Summit clothesline. So we're able to hang up all of our clothes and get them to dry. It's like it was meant to be. Even though this vlog is starting off in Amman, Jordan, which is the capital, we were just here yesterday to kind of catch up on work, do some laundry, relax a little bit after the chaos of Egypt. Today we are heading to Petra, but we have one important stop along the way. Now, how are we getting to these things? Great question. We were actually able to find a driver on TripAdvisor and we hired them for basically the entirety of the thing. I don't think it's the same guy. I think it's a guy who licenses out to various other private drivers. We were able to organize our transport from here in Amman all the way to Petra, from Petra to Wadi Rum, and then from Wadi Rum to the border crossing with Israel, which we'll be doing in a couple of days.
So we're headed to the Dead Sea for just a super quick stop. And there are a couple of rules that we had to note before going. So number one, you're supposed to bring some kind of sandals with you into the water because the salt is so crystallized that it feels like little glass shards. Jeff and I both have leather sandals, so I don't know how that's gonna go. I guess we're just gonna wear them in and we're gonna be soaked. Number two, you are not supposed to shave less than 2 days before you get in the Dead Sea. I'm gonna be very transparent here. I have not shaved my legs. I'm not going to swim, but Jeff might. Number three, you're not supposed to splash anybody. It's very frowned upon because of the salt. And number four, if you do the mud in the Dead Sea, that's supposed to be really good for your skin. You're not supposed to put it on your eyes because you of course have to wash it off and it burns like hell. So we're gonna go stick our feet in and say we've been to the Dead Sea, and that's that. I would also like to note that I will probably be the only one out there with my feet in the Dead Sea wearing sweatpants. Our driver took us to a most interesting public beach to get in. I think you have to walk like a mile down some very interesting rock formations. And I have no idea where Jeff's gonna change into his bathing suit. So here we go. I think Jeff's going for it.
I am. Made it all the way here. Cool. Whoa!
Is it crazy?
What? Yeah. It's like someone's holding me up. It's like anti-gravity. Yeah.
There's nothing.
I don't know if you can see, but it's very slimy, like oily. It's very surreal feeling, like I'm covered in olive oil almost. And getting in there, it just felt like any other beach actually at first, but then you just lift up your legs and it's like your whole body just floats to the surface and you can't stop it. I imagine what it's like being in space. There's just no gravity, you're just there. But I can imagine you can only be in here for a short period of time because this is quite gross and it's probably just all the salt. crazy because the salt, the crystallized salt looks so smooth, like you would slip on it. It looks like a waxed floor, but it's incredibly sharp and pointy, so very uncomfortable. I made the mistake of taking off my sandals to go run to Brie to grab my pants before I showered, and it hurt like all hell. Now the shower that I just took, the guy basically walked down, I mean, props to him, he carried this thing down, just a big jug of water like you see in the water coolers, and there was just like a little like pail kind of, and you filled that with water and then poured it over yourself and hope you get all the salt off. As of right now, I'm feeling like I didn't do a great job because my legs are incredibly itchy, but it's only a short 3-hour journey to go, so I'll survive. So the shower actually cost $2 Jordanian dollars, dirham, whatever they are. Dinars, 2 Jordanian dinars each, and Brie only washed her feet. And then he also offered to give me like a bag of the mud, because everyone comes here to take mud baths, and he said that was free, which was really nice of him. He also gave us a sweet and a little bit of scented perfume at the end so that we don't smell terrible.
And I only put my feet in, but the good news is I found a new cut. I didn't know it was there. So Jeff mentioned or alluded to this earlier, but yeah, you actually cannot stay in the Dead Sea that long. They recommend only 10 to 15 minutes because it just dries out your skin so badly. And I think it actually dehydrates you quite a bit. So if you come here, basically you just pop in, you pop out. We actually saw 3 other people on the beach with us, and they were in there for maybe a minute and they're gone. So keep that in mind if you come.
One thing I think we're both surprised about is the color of the water. I don't know why, I just didn't think it would be so green, but it's beautiful. And I think it's just because all of the salt that's calcified on the bottom there is just giving it this white bottom, which really shines through when the light hits it. It's beautiful.
If you want free salt, come here.
Pro tip. This is just the most insane view, considering we were 400 meters below sea level a second ago.
Welcome to Petra, where we officially made it last night. Didn't think we were gonna make it there for a minute because our driver was doing like 90 the entire way, but here we are, and we're hitting Petra, the city, today.
We got our first few steps into Petra. We had to change our Jordan Pass tickets at the ticket office. Just a little note, we saw so many people doing what we did and we tried to walk in with that. So we exchanged for paper tickets, we're walking in now, and now starts the 1.2 kilometer walk to the actual treasury. It's not like you just walk in and you're right there. You have to walk quite a bit. We're just a couple minutes into this walk. It's a long, dusty road. There's supposed to be like an actual deep canyon that you walk through that I think we're both looking forward to because it'll probably provide some protection from the sun. But right now we're definitely exposed. It's definitely hot, but it's cool. You're starting to see these little like houses and carvings come out of the rock formations, which is where the ancient city must have basically started.
I have no idea how you can get on one of these golf carts, but it would be nice.
We just came around the corner and we got our first look at the treasury. Organized chaos out in front. There are cameras and people literally everywhere. We're here at about, I think, 10-ish, so definitely come here early if you want to avoid this. Everything here is a commercial opportunity. They have camels here that you can ride. There's actually gift stores, Coke, soft drinks, and for the Instagram like-minded people, there's a viewpoint up above me where you can hike up to. It's actually supposedly a pretty tough hike, and then they'll like give you a flowy dress or let you hold something or sit on a carpet and make it look like you were the only person here today, which is not the case. It's a little windy, so hopefully the mic's picking this up, but here's some fun facts about this place. So it's extremely old. It's basically 5,000 years plus or minus. Actually, I think a little bit more than that. And it gained its importance because it was a huge trade hub at the time. A huge trading route went through here, and so they got extremely wealthy. And at one point, this peaked at 20,000 inhabitants. And the Romans, when they came here, they actually ended up conquering it, and it lost its independence. And then slowly, as the importance of sea trade routes increased, this place kind of just diminished in grandeur, and eventually everyone just abandoned it. And ultimately, it was completely abandoned and undiscovered until the late 1800s when a Swiss tourist found it, which is crazy. That guy made one of the greatest discoveries. And this place is massive. We just heard from one of the tour guides that even if you spent all 3 days here and you saw everything there was to see, you'd only be seeing 17% of what actually exists.
So even though the touts aren't nearly as bad as in Egypt, we actually had a kid block the way when we were trying to walk up to the monastery, and he tried to snatch our camera. So keep your wits about you when you're here. You want some more?
Right now we're on top of the something. We didn't grab a map, unfortunately, so I actually don't know where we are, but we're across from this cool little Roman style amphitheater. I don't know if it was built by the Romans or if they had it before the Romans came in and kind of conquered it. And up here you just get a sense of how big this place is. I mean, the scale of it is just nuts. I thought when we'd come around the corner we'd kind of just be in, you know, a canyon again, and that would kind of be the end of it, but it is huge. And it just speaks to what that tour guide was saying, that, you know, even if you were here for 3 days, you'd only see 17% of what really existed because the area is massive.
Yeah, and we've been to Ephesus and Pompeii, so this is our third kind of ancient city, and I think this one has to be the biggest, like, by far.
So the setting behind me might look familiar, and that's because you've probably seen it before. This red sand has probably been on your TV screen or in your movie theater on some of the top 10 blockbusters that you might have watched, such as John Wick 4, Rogue One, Revenge of the Fallen, The Martian, Red Planet. There are so many movies I could go on and on about, Dune 1 and 2, and they've all been filmed in this amazing landscape because it is the most foreign place that you can probably find on this planet.
So now that the sun has kind of gone down a little bit, Jeff and I are out exploring the outside of our camp, and I think we're both just blown away by the natural beauty. This is officially the 30th country we have been to in the world. This is the most beautiful place we have ever been. And trust me, in our videos we've been to some very pretty places that we've commented on. This by far is the most beautiful place I have ever been. Do you agree?
Yeah, totally.
We're getting tired of these flies though, tell you what.
I'm a big lover of Top Gear, and, you know, opinions about Jeremy Clarkson aside, there's this one scene where he's talking about this beautiful scene. I can't remember if it's in the Vietnam special or maybe it's in Botswana, but he just says that the hair on the back of his neck is standing up because of the insane beauty that he's witnessing. I knew what he was saying, but I'd never really felt that, so I never really had a way to relate, but I get it now.
Time to test out the echo.
Alright, well, one thing that we just learned is that giant holes in shoes that you've been wearing for 9 months straight do not do well with desert sand.
By the way, this sand is some of the softest I have ever felt. It's quite nice.
So the sun's going down, and it's just such a perfect ending to what I can only describe as maybe the perfect country for any traveler who wants to come to the Middle East and get a taste for this region's rich culture and history. I mean, the touts were not aggressive, the food was amazing, the people were incredibly kind, the sights were incredible. The fact that we were able to go to the Dead Sea, see a new wonder of the world, and then stand in an incredibly foreign landscape, all within a country, all within a couple hours of each other, is mind blowing to me.
We had such an amazing time in Jordan, and I think we would definitely come back given the chance. So I think that speaks very highly of this country and its people.
If it's not on your list, and I feel like for a lot of people it's not, it should be. It should be. Definitely my favorite place in the Middle East.
So this is actually the perfect ending to this vlog. So we really hope you enjoyed it. We'll be sitting here enjoying the sunset. And if you come to Jordan, you can too. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe.